Bliss and power, bliss and power. Every minute, every freaking hour. Bliss and power, sending love. Aunt Bishop Gang is calling on the scene. Just got done with the workout, getting out the shower. Set this phone up. Still doing my post-shower activities. But I want to show some love. Get you some of this. A lot of y'all fucking top tier, aspiring, superior men. Feet are fucked up, mine included. And you got to start grounding. And obviously, the first tool on the ground is your feet. So you got to take care of your feet and your lower body. This is why people like to emphasize squats and shit. But you know, that base has to be strong. It's got to be real strong. That grounding and that footing has to be real strong. You're gonna tug of war. You gotta have that footing proper. You gotta be able to set and plant. And when you can set and plant, then you can root. And then when you can root, the roots get down deep into the ground. They get the high value, high level nourishment from the rich soil and deep in the ground, deep in the earth. Not on the first layers, but the deeper layers, untouched, just being toiled by worms and being nourished by ants and other decaying matter. It gets trampled on by animals and weathered away. It gets covered and then gets pushed down, and then it starts to get crystallized. So crystal residue is where the richest soil is. So you got to be able to plant your feet and be grounded. And being grounded is something that I had to work on really hard because I was built from the top down. My higher chakras were activated early on in life, but the lower ones weren't. So I was always into like not escapism, but I would be not being comfortable in the public. And I guess it could be called escapism, but I would always also have the courage to jump out there and do shit that even though I was more of an introvert, I would still be out there and getting busy, handling business, not afraid to try and fly and soar, and test the strength of my wings. You know, so that's a difference also too. Even though I was built from the top down, I wasn't just aloof all the way. I was aloof when I chose to be because I felt like that was a better pattern. Excuse the bed, makeup. I'm kind of resting all day. I work night shift in the weekend and regular shift during the week, so it's kind of got my schedule all topsy-turvy. But anyway, ain't no excuses. Still should have made my bed up. But I just got done doing the workout and got out the shower and I wanted to record a video and show some love, put some more game out there. Blessings to you. I declare blessings in your world on every level. Declare blessings in your world, in your social life, your family life, in your spiritual life, in your financial life, and your body, physical body, and your mind and your heart. May your heart and your mind be aligned. May they be synchronized so that you can live the life of your dreams, create your heaven on earth. May your social circles be blessed. May your business be blessed. May your present and future be blessed, because I know your past is blessed because you're here. You're here. So that's how I know your past is blessed. Yeah, I cherish you and I love you. And I just wanted to drop some game on the aspiring high value man. A couple of things were standing out I wanted to talk on. But I like that grounding. I make that really the thing here. It's high value men really need to ground. You know, it's a lot of men in our generations. I say I'm an 80s baby, born in 84, and I like other great ones. And the generations after the 80s babies, for sure, really feelings based men, you know. And try to fucking use this daggone soap I was giving him. I broke my face out. Then I tried to support this chick. She was selling soap and stuff. So I bought that soap and I knew better than try to wash my face with it, but I did anyway, and it broke my face out. So now I had to go through this whole process of healing my face in it. But anyway, none of my shit's clear. I know it's the soaps I'm using, so I had to get back on that silver soap anyway. But anyway, yeah, I just continue on that grounding. Yeah, a lot. So I was saying that a lot of aspiring high value men, they're they're in there. They're easily much more aware of their emotions. I'll say much more aware of their emotions in generations of the past. A lot of those cats was real cold blooded, cold blooded. They was real vicious, and not necessarily vicious, but just hard nosed. You know what I mean? Real intense, and ain't play no games like that. I mean, they played, they had a good time, they joked for damn sure. But when they meant business, they turned it on, and they handled a lot of business. They was real tough and rugged, and not too emotionally sound. They would be quicker to, I think, to do things based off of will rather than compassion, I'll say. And a lot of men in my generation, we're really emotionally aware. So doing things with compassion is damn near priority. Or doing things from the heart, with the heart in mind, is damn near priority. Even sometimes if it's at an adverse detriment. There could be times when you use your heart to be in be a temporary detriment, but that's okay because because you'll be rewarded faithfully for those. But then there's other times where we'll do things or things to be done, and they could be adverse, detrimental, and sacrificial, and they're not, and it's not in a good way. It's like, no, that was a seed placed in poor soil, because you that was somebody like taking advantage of you, or you giving the most to someone that was not deserving or didn't value what you were giving. So that was kind of detrimental to a degree. Although the Supreme Being sees all, so things always work in your favor. But it's just the fact of having to go through that and that wasting of time, that wasting of planting when you could have made sure you was on consistently great soil. So anyway, a lot of men moving in that way, they can be taken advantage of nowadays, oftentimes, much easier than in the past. And that's unfortunate because you see a lot of men getting broken down. There's a lot of women that are really just cold. A lot of people are just cold, and motherfuckers will take advantage of your ass, and you can't. And you can't blame them. That comes from you being ungrounded. That comes from you not being aware, not being dialed into the situation of what was going on, who you was dealing with, and having proper discernment. And you're not gonna have proper discernment if you're not grounded in the Supreme Being, if you're not grounded in Source, if you're not grounded in the Supreme Truth, so that you can resonate and see. When things are being, so you can see clearly when things are being when the wool's trying to be pulled over your eyes, or your emotions are being pulled on to as leverage for a situation to go in someone else's favor and not in yours. You have to be grounded to have that situation, to have that reality, to have that superpower activated. And a lot of men don't, because they're not rooted, they're not grounded in ritual, they're not grounded in practice, they don't have discipline in their own practice, in their own study. They haven't developed a sense of mastery in anything because they're too scattered. And you have to, as a man, get to a space of mastery in something, even if it's just mastery in you. But if you wanted to use to develop you by going through the trials and tribulations of developing the skill and learning the processes of the skill, and through persevering and overcoming, you gain mastery. And once you gain mastery in one skill, it's easier to translate that mastery into other skills and into other tools, because you've devoted and disciplined yourself into acquiring and understanding an in-depth understanding of a subject matter. This is very important for a man. This is how you gain high-level wisdom. This is how you become a man of high value, actually. And your knowledge begins to transcend into wisdom over time of developing that skill and starting to share that skill and share those lessons and share that wisdom. You start to really tap into higher levels of understanding of that subject matter, and begins to transcend various subjects, and you can become a polymath and just have various aspects, various levels of various degrees in various subject matters. And the depth of mastery is dependent on you, but there's you can easily get beyond the usage of 10% of your brain when you start to control the sexual energies and live a lifestyle of awareness. Not necessarily saying that you need to just be, a monk, but you need to have sexual discipline. You need to be able to live beyond the urges of the flesh and the desire to want to, quote unquote, no, I won't even say that, just a desire to want to release sexual energies, I say, like, I keep it PG. You have to, as a man, you have to discipline your body to get beyond that pleasure. It's a great pleasure, but an even better pleasure is accomplishing things and developing skills and setting goals and accomplishing those goals. That's an even better skill to begin to acquire, because now you can start to live the life of your dreams. But it takes discipline, like I'm saying, and that's how you get grounded, and that's how you get rooted, and that's how you begin to elevate and turn yourself into a tree of goodness. I would like to call it a tree of goodness. A high value man is a tree of goodness. Yeah, um, a tree of goodness is a tree planted to the glory of the Lord Almighty, a being planted that remedies sorrows, that remedies situations, that uplifts, that empowers, that inspires, that creates, inspired by Mother Goddess, that creates with intentions for everybody, with the best intentions for everybody involved. This is a high value man. This is a tree of goodness. And in order to be a tree of goodness, you must be rooted in your mastery. You must be rooted in your levels of mastery. And you can understand what your levels of mastery are. I have a few different levels that I've developed. I'm a Reiki master teacher. I'm a master poet. I'm an empowerer. I'm a master inspirer. I give gems and game to people relative to what they have going on in their lives. I meet people from all over the world. I'm blessed to really connect with folks. I got this bumping them first, I spot, and I really love people. I really appreciate people for the things, who they are, and how they've chosen to grow in their lives. And it really inspires people to continue to move forward and elevate in greatness. I could have been a coach a long time ago. Um, a quote unquote life coach, but that's not something I wanted to do. But many people have offered to. But many people have come in very dire straits, needing counsel, and I've really helped their lives out. I've really helped give them guidance and put them on a path. These are grown men. These are grown men, men that are older than me. You know what I mean? And not to include my father. I'm talking about, and I'm not talking about my dad. Even though I broke a lot of bread with my dad, but I'm talking about my father. He came to me for some game before, and it's not too many times I've come to him for some game, and that's not because he don't have game. It's just because I lean on the supreme being, and I don't. And I allow people to come to me how they need to, and I listen. But a lot of times I'm just getting my tuning and my refinement from the supreme being directly. I'm channeling that energy directly, so I'm knowing how to move. I'm listening to my intuition. I'm listening to my heart, and I'm allowing my heart to think for me. So being able to step into that space, it allows me to channel. It allows me to channel my higher self, and it allows me to continue to elevate in my life, even when it looks wild on the outside looking in. I know where I'm at, and I know where I'm going because of the seeds that I planted and the prayers that I declare over my life and over my journey. And I dial in consistently, to check in and recalibrate my frequency. And I use these different tools that I've been shown, that I've been given, to help me continue to recalibrate and refine my beingness, to the best version of myself. This is an extraordinary vessel that you have. At least I can speak personally that I have, but we all have our best blessed with these extraordinary templates, these avatar templates, and we use them to interface in this physical reality with. So we need to optimize it as best as we can. And like I said, my feet have been need to be worked on for years, because and it showcases a lack of grounding, in my own personal life, and something that I needed to work on. So everybody has their own things. Physical ailments are oftentimes the representation of spiritual ailments. They start in the spiritual realm first, and then they show up in the physical realm. So you can work through those things by making sure that you continue to utilize the weeds and the plants in the herbal kingdom, in the mushroom kingdom as well. So um, I was going to touch on the mushrooms, and I'll make that another video, but I'm going to touch on the mushrooms anyway, because they're a big part, I feel, of being able to exponentially grow and being able to get grounded through the use of the herbs and through the mushrooms. And I remember it was probably like a week ago. I was scrolling. Like I said, my algorithm is pretty dope because I'm mindful about some of the things. I'm mindful about what I'm checking out. So things that come on my social media is different than what other people say. So I'm not wasting time even when I'm on social media, because the things on my feed are pretty dope, and they're in line with what I like to tune into. So you got to speak for yourself. When people talk about, social media is a waste of time, it can be if you're not focused. But if you are focused, it can continue to give you game and wisdom that you need right on time. And you'll hear exactly what you need to hear right when you need to hear. So it's funny because yesterday I was listening to all right, so the first thing that hit it was like I said, I was scrolling, and I seen this video, and it was speaking about a nuclear bomb, and the different tests that was going on when they were testing out the nuclear bomb, quote unquote, in this era. That's not a new science, but it's something new that this, quote unquote, mankind has developed. So they were speaking about how there were plenty of tests that were done in Nevada, but the largest nuclear bomb was done somewhere like in the Russia world. The largest nuclear bomb that was exploded was done in the Russian world, if I'm not mistaken, or it might have been the Germans. It may have been the Germans, but the I kept looking at the nuclear bomb, and it was like mesmerizing how, well, first of all, that there was a camera out there that could actually record the nuclear bomb. I thought that was kind of wild. Like, what kind of camera can survive that? Like, how did they have live feeds? Like, somebody had to put the camera out there and then go and retrieve the camera in a nuclear environment. Like, that was interesting to just ponder on. But regardless, just seeing the nuclear bomb explode in the nuclear cloud that came, in the mushroom cloud that came from it, was kind of like, whoa. It was just like I said, mesmerizing. It's like, does the bomb hit the ground and then blow up, or does it blow up in midair? Because it's creating a vacuum, it looks like, the mushroom cloud, and it's like coming from like the inside out. It's like an implosion type of thing happening. It's going like this, and then everybody's seen the mushroom cloud. A lot of people have seen the mushroom cloud. And it's only comes from a nuclear blast. It doesn't seem to come from any other type of bomb. It doesn't seem to, a lot of other bombs don't seem to blow up like that, Or maybe they do, just not to that scale of magnitude. But a nuclear bomb is incredible because of, it's an explosion. It's a very, 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 very small implosion that's magnified like 100,000 times, like 1,000,000 times. But it's a very, 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 very small explosion, I would say. I guess I feel like it's an implosion because of the vacuum, and then it goes out. But it comes in first and then it goes out. So I feel like it's an implosion, but it's so small initially that's magnified many, many times over. So it's like exponential growth of explosions, and this is why it becomes so catastrophic, and it's compacted in such a small vehicle. Consider how much it can affect when it actually goes off, when it detonates. And I thought, wow, that's incredible. So I'm just looking at the mushroom cloud. I'm like, damn, why in the world does it form into a mushroom? Like, we have that shape that we can partake in. Like, we have something down here that we can work with. That's a mushroom. That has the mushroom. That is a mushroom. It's not like a mushroom shape. It's a mushroom. So I was like, man, that really, to me, it really verifies how powerful mushrooms must be. How much energy is compressed into mushrooms. And we know this from magic mushrooms. Magic mushrooms is what makes Super Mario Super Mario. Like, when he regular Mario till he get the magic mushroom, then he becomes Super Mario. Then he started to get the fire flower, the herbs and shit, and then he get the star, he get the star energy. Then he start taking it to another level, And mushroom is a powerful Mario is a powerful analogy as well. Obviously, through what I just spoke on. You know what I mean? Like, that's a psilocybe cubensis mushroom that he's taking on. It could be any other type. You know what I mean? But it's not. That's a red with the Amarita muscaria. That's a red with the white dots. Mushroom. So it's like, man, that's a crazy example. That the Japanese made, of this Italian brother hopping on the shrooms and really doing his due, and using the star energy to do what he do, and using the herbs to do what he does. The herbal flower, the fire flower. The fire flower got to be herb, got to be Mary Jane. We don't know no other fire flower. I wouldn't say it was an opiate. It could be, but people don't. That ain't really how that's used. But it could be. But regardless, this mushroom shape, it being something that correlates to the nuclear explosion or implosion. I was like, man, I bet that really kind of correlates to how powerful mushrooms are for us. And I just gave an example to the magic mushroom, but we got many other types of mushrooms as well that are edible and medicinal as well. You got the lion's mane, you got the chaga, you got the reishi. These are some of my favorites. I love the reishi. The reishi, I feel like it really was, it should, it saved my life. You know what I mean? Some of those have different shapes, but they're still all mushrooms, and we consider that one mushroom shape to be the typical shape of the mushroom. But these are all part of the mushroom kingdom. So I kind of group them all together as mushrooms being such a powerful tool. So I thought that was incredible. I seen that about a week ago. Then I was doing a meditation the other day. Real powerful meditation by this brother I just came across earlier this year named Brian Scott. And in one of his most recent meditations that I was doing, he was talking about, speaking about exponential financial growth. And he was using the example of going nuclear, and how nuclear, exponential growth is what nuclear explosions are. You know what I mean? So that's why they are so powerful. So he used that in his example as well when he was just giving the meditation and activation of the exponential growth. And I was like, man, that's dope. How is that nuclear coming back up again like that? Like, dang, that just happened like the day before yesterday. And then today, right before I even did this video, I'm listening to the brother Andrew Tate. He just dropping game. He has hella game. I don't care what people say about him. People always want to. They have a problem with how a man talks when a man talks. But if that man has accomplished what he has accomplished, as he's achieved his level of mastery, that man gonna talk how the fuck he need to talk, because he is who he is. He's a man. You know what I mean? You're not gonna regulate how the fuck he say what he need to say, because he's a man who is a man, a superior man. So when you reach superior man status, you don't give a fuck about how people talk about how you need to use your terms or whatever. Like, ain't no concern of us. Like, you a spectator on the outside observing. Like, I know that the people resonate with me how they need to resonate with me. They're gonna appreciate how I talk, and those who don't, they can get the fuck on. Bless them on their journey. You know what I mean? It's not even like that. They need to get the fuck on. It's my message must not be for them. And that's okay. My message ain't gonna be for everybody. It's gonna be for those that resonate with me and where I'm going. And so, it is what it is. But so Andrew Tate is one of those polarizing individuals. But when it boils down to it, he's a high value man. He's a superior man. So he's not supposed to always be accepted by everybody, and certainly by he's by the people who haven't accomplished anything. They're certainly not going to appreciate his words, and those who want to control people are certainly not going to appreciate his words and his image. But be that as it may, I appreciate that brother for stepping out and doing what he does, representing and showcasing what a version of a high value man looks like. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, a version, not the version, but a version of what a high value man looks like. You can take what you need from that, and you can use it to transform it and mold it in what you need it to be. And he speaks about that all the time, even in his videos. You listen to him, he's telling you, shit, don't follow me. Motherfucker, follow you. You know what I mean? Follow the God within you. I'm just telling you like it is, because some people are too soft nowadays to tell it how it is. But if you unfocused and you undisciplined, you fucking a waste of a man, to a degree. You know what I mean? It's like, thank you for being here, but what the fuck are you doing? How are you contributing? And we need men to be of this caliber, because we're in a world where, I tell people all the time, it was like the men are the slaves. You know what I mean? It's not necessarily women. It'll be fucking conquerors that go to another culture and fucking slaughter all the fucking men, and then they'll slaughter a third of the men, take the other 2/3 of the men, put them in the army, and then the women and the children, they'll fucking take them as concubines, or take them as fucking servitude, women of servitude, but not necessarily kill them and not put them in the army. And they'll fuck around and integrate into society and marry the different men in that society and be taken care of in that new culture that just got conquered. Meanwhile, the men are the ones who've gotten fucking shattered and destroyed. So I tell people, like, it's like the men have to really start caring about themselves and start to care about, and being mindful of how they talk to other men and empowering other men, you know what I mean? And really building other men up, because we're in a culture, especially in America, where manhood is being vilified and taken away from being what it is. And that's because, and they're justifying it through various things. And it's to just make sure that the American man is not really able to guard his territory against enemies, foreign and domestic. And that's what it all boils down to. And if we're not able to do that as a society, we're failing our ancestors, and we're dropping the ball. And we're letting all that hard work and of blood, sweat, and tears that was shed from our ancestors through war, through feeling like they're defending their territories, we're letting that go to waste and be done in vain. You know what I mean? And that was really us. That was us in previous lives. So we're letting our previous lives, as well as this current life, this current opportunity, go to shame and to waste by not being aware of what's going on, understanding the battleground, and then developing our tools of war so that we can achieve victory. And if war isn't just physical, it's spiritual. It's more spiritual than it is physical. So we have a lot of men that are not valuing themselves, that are really not emotionally sound, therefore are not physically sound, therefore not mentally sound. So being mentally sound is first. So this speaks on spiritual work and the work of the psyche. So this is the work of the psychology of the man, and the psychology of the man in America is really being so far gone from upstanding that a lot of men really are more comfortable. It's a fair amount of men that are just not standing in the space of desiring to want to be a man. They don't even want to be in the male template. You know what I mean? So it's unfortunate that we're in this situation, and this is by design, though. This isn't always just natural. There's this is not always a natural thing. Sometimes it's a natural thing, and that's okay. That's for that soul's journey. But when this type of mindset is being induced, well, now you're talking about people under attack. That's different. That's not a natural thing. I'm saying that it occurs in nature. I'm saying that what's happening in America and throughout the world, but mainly in America, because we have some of the strongest men, we have some of the strongest genetic potential, some of the strongest capacity to really elevate the world. And we know this, and we showcase this, and the world knows this, but they're waiting on us to really actually understand who we are. And it starts with the man understanding who the man is first. We're still kind of talking about the woman and giving the woman praise, and we should, because she is the woman, she is the female archetype, so she's deserving of worthy of praise. But the problem is that the man is now also being praised and elevated to the level of being a stand-up man and being praised as a superior man, because that is what is feared throughout the world. It's different when you have a woman who is of a high value. That's not necessarily going to always result in change, and battling against a machine of destruction. It depends on the type of woman, but if the woman feels comfortable in the war environment, then she's not going to have war activated. And if she's being given the things that she needs to maintain her comforts, then her war isn't going to be activated. So it's going to have to be the man that showcases what time it is and start to lead by example and lead by devotion, and really tailoring and picking the proper woman who understands what's going on. And those family units are led by that man who has vision, who has purpose, who has drive, who is sound in his relationship with Lord Almighty and the Mother Goddess. That type of harmony, that head of household with that type of high value man and that superior man and that high value woman, and that unit is something that is formidable. But it starts with the man, because if the comforts are met for the woman, she's fine. She'll be in dire straits, but as long as you can give her the comforts that she needs, she won't push against she won't necessarily push against the construct. Whereas a man, if you just a real man, if you just encapsulate him, even if you give him the comforts that he needs, if you take away his freedom, even though he has the comforts, he won't necessarily just remain comfortable. He won't just remain docile. He'll still continue to try to find a way to get to his soul's purpose and to get to his soul's victory. He will push through those comforts. He will push through them all, because they're not satisfying his soul. This is a superior man, though. So this is why they have played the game how they have played it. So it's a lot of men that are not biochemically sound. So this goes once again what I'm talking about in helping ground the man and helping him achieve better mental functions, which would therefore result in a better emotional state, which would therefore result in better physical results. He needs to tune into the herbal kingdom and tune into the mushroom kingdom so he can ground his body, this avatar template better, because it is being biochemically assaulted. So we have to therefore detoxify and then regenerate on a biochemical level so that the cells can be regenerated, and then you can start to activate more capacities of the brain usage, more synapses, and optimize the nervous system so that way it can be optimized with a sound heart, a sound emotional space, and then you can synchronize this brain and this heart to be able to create the world that you desire, and not self-sabotage, But you have to become biochemically sound. You have to detoxify your body, and therefore you have to ground. So using these herbs and these mushrooms can help you achieve exponential power. And that's what this whole thing is about. It's about grounding and grounding in your exponential power. And the mushrooms, through the through the symbology that I didn't create. I'm just observing this correlation of these symbols of the mushroom, how much power must be embedded by default of that shape. It's like, man, it could be accidental, it could be ironic, but who would think? Shapes are shapes, and the power is embedded in the shape, and the shape is what identifies the frequency that is achieved. The frequency that is represented by the shape that becomes. Damn, that's powerful. The frequency that is represented by the shape that becomes. So if a nuclear bomb imploding or exploding, let you be the judge. We'll say imploding and exploding. Maybe that's what makes it nuclear. It's doing both. If that showcases as the shape of a mushroom, then what else is the mushroom showcasing whenever they pop up through the moonlight? It must be showcasing something pretty extraordinary available. So do your research, get into your mushrooms, understand what's available for you, start to detoxify your body, start to nourish your mind and your body, start to create a prayer life, a life of declaration, a life of gratefulness by giving thanks, first of all, for all of the opportunities and the tools that you've been given, such as these digits, such as these limbs, such as these optimization of these organs, optimizing of your mind and your heart, being blessed to have family and associates, being blessed to be able to communicate, being having the ability to see, be able to hear, smell, taste, touch, feel, emotionally feel through touch, remember, be aware, self-aware of what you've done and what you're doing and what you're going to do, being able to synchronize this reality into the infinite now, and be able to create your reality right now, through your mind's eye, synchronized with the sound heart. Going back to the heart of gratitude, prayer is very important. So declare. People wait till Ramadan and they'll pray 5 times a day. Well, why wait? Pray 5 times a day every day. Even if they're small prayers, little 15-minute prayers, little 15-second prayers, even if it's just praying over your food, every time you place something in your mouth, if you decide to pray over that, every time you take a sip of water, pray over that water, take that minute, give thanks to the earth, give thanks to the surrounding planets, give thanks to the solar system, give thanks to the sun, give thanks to the star systems, give thanks to the extraterrestrial beings, whether you've seen them or not, you've heard of them, give thanks to the creator of the Law of One. I'm in Louisville, Kentucky. This is where the Law of One was written. This is a world-renowned book. I give thanks for the opportunity to be in a place where such a profound book was made. I give thanks for the greatest of all time being born in this city where my niece was born. Many of my siblings were born. It's an honor and a blessing to have the opportunity to continue on in my own version of greatness in my life, and being able to pour into my siblings and being able to pour into my family and being able to pour into the world and being able to be a tool of inspiration and empowerment to those that I'm able to come across and able to resonate with and who can resonate with me. So I give thanks and I give gratitude for every moment and every opportunity I get to really be able to pour in and be a blessing in somebody's life, whether it be giving them words of encouragement or give them tools of empowerment. It's a blessing to be able to be a servant, to be able to be an angel in the flesh, be able to be Archangel Cadriel, to be able to be Genghis Khan, the Archbishop, be able to know who I am, be able to know I am who I am. And I was born to be who I am. This is why I was given the name that I was given. And my birth name is not a name I needed to change because it was who I am. My mom felt who I was, and she named me accordingly and appropriately for the mission that I chose to incarnate, to experience. So thank goodness for a mother that's tuned in. Thank goodness for a sister that's tuned in. Bless her. My sister's so extraordinary. I'm so proud of her. So proud of her growth as a woman and as a mother. And I'm appreciative, man. I'm appreciative. I give thanks to Supreme Being. I hope you appreciate your world and appreciate the people that are in your world. And if you weren't, I hope you find the time to give that, create that appreciation for the folks that are in your world, because it's not an accident that they are there And they're not there to torment you. They're there to reflect you. They're there to showcase to you who you are, who you have been, and who you are becoming. Because who you are becoming is also reflected in them. Who you were is also reflected in them. So don't judge them for the journey that they're on. Love them for being present and being here with you. You know what I mean? And hopefully they can find the journey if they're not on a journey, and hopefully you can find your journey if you're not on your journey. But begin to generate that space of gratitude and appreciation for those things that you have overcome, the things that you have worked through, and what you're going to accomplish, what you're accomplishing now at this great moment. It's always more to be able to do and more to grow into, and continue to give gratitude for the opportunity to grow. And don't waste any opportunities. Don't waste a moment. Start those things that you want to do now. I'm writing all the time. I got papers all around me. I got things that I'm doing, things that I've created, things that I'm putting together and formulating, and I'm going to launch those things. And I'm launching those things now. Even just doing this more and more consistently is a launch into me. And I'm going to do it as consistently as I need to, so that eventually, one day my nephew can see my videos and be proud of what Uncle Bunk has done and what Uncle Bunk has shared, and he can get some gain from some of the stuff that I'm sharing. And in particular, I want to be able to have given enough gain to where he can be proud and have a pathway. My prince can have a pathway if he decides to check out more of my videos. He's in some of them. My niece is in one of them. One of my earlier videos on this channel. I had another channel that I started off a while ago, my first channel. But this is the one where I've been more consistent with throughout the years, and I'll be more consistent with it now every day. I just want to be able to make sure I drop game and give some game. Especially because, like I said, I have a nephew who's really dope. He's like 9, and he's at that age where he's absorbing everything. So I want to be able to have game out there that even if it doesn't touch him directly, hopefully somebody around the world can see, or somebody in his local environment can even see and hear some of that game and share some of the game with him that way. If somehow, some way of a miracle chance that he's able to, that happens, I don't count it out, and I project that happening right now. So I'm putting energy out there through these videos, so that way eventually, my prince, my nephew, my niece, my nieces, my nephews, they can check the stuff out. My siblings, they can check this stuff out, and they either appreciate it or they don't. But it can't be said that I didn't say and I didn't share, with them first, before I gave to other people as well. So and they know that, and I love them, and I cherish them, I appreciate them, and I know that they appreciate me as well. So but high value men, definitely step into the power of the nuclear power of the mushrooms. That's what I call this, the nuclear power of the mushrooms. And really superior men start to use these tools to start to balance yourself biochemically, start to work on your body, and, like I said, ground your beingness, ground your dreams, ground your deepest visions, by working on yourself first, by building your body up first, by building your temple up first, resting your body, meditate when it's time to meditate, declare and pray when it's time to declare and pray, and build your muscle when it's time to build your muscle, and time to work your muscle, build your endurance, build your muscular endurance, so that way you can optimize your mind, optimize your brain, um, detoxify your body, uh, um, and ingest more of the invisible chi energy, invisible ki prana energy through deep, full stomach breathing. As you're working out and as you push your body, you're working your mind, and you're pushing past the will, and push it back past the limitation of the body and the thinking of the body, and you're overcoming it with the power of the mind. And doing this consistently starts to really develop a very strong will. And then when you combine that, working on the body and developing the discipline of the body through the working of the muscles and working of the muscular endurance, then you start to combine that with the meditations, and then you start to combine that with the biochemical rebuilding and taking in of the best substances through the mushroom kingdom and the other herbs as well, but particularly highlighting the mushrooms for exponential growth, because they've often been shunned and hidden when they really have a lot of hidden treasures and gems within them. The portobello mushroom, I want to mention, I overheard something about it. You have to be mindful of those. They say you really need to cook those at a high temperature to if you're going to ingest those. And I didn't know that for a while. But I also heard that they contain a lot of copper. So get the big mushrooms if you're going to get them. Get the big mushrooms, because they contain the big portobellos. They contain high levels of metals that increase energy conductivity. So yeah, that could be researched on your own, but in particular, just to even avoid that confusion, I'm dealing with the mushrooms that I know are about that business. So I did away with the portobello, just I couldn't really count on them as much. I like the turkey tail, the lion's mane, the reishi, the chaga, the cordyceps, and then of course the magic and all of the variations of her glory, the goddess Amarinta muscaria, known to make men super by destruction of and revealing of the ego shadow. So don't allow that gift to be unused by you. Do your sources, look for your sources, research your sources. I love buying herbs from Etsy. I feel like I'm dealing with people who have care and intentions in their heart. They didn't just make a store for profit, even though nothing's wrong with that. But I like dealing with people who also, I think, that are aware and utilize these products with their best intentions, and I feel like they're much more reliable on Etsy to give a high quality product. So I like to buy my herbs and my mushroom stuff and all the other goodies from Etsy. I just got into the pine pollen, and I went to go buy pine pollen. I came across an elixir that had a whole bunch of different type of mushrooms in it. They had Hishawu in there, also known as Foti, extraordinary herb, very extraordinary herb. Definitely research Hishawu if you haven't before. It'll blow your mind. I may do a video on that later on down the line. But I would just want to touch on just using the powers of the mushroom to ground, grounding in general, how important that is. Something I intentionally overlooked for a time because of who I am and the things that I had to work on for my soul's growth. So I grounded, but it was just in a certain type of way, to where I still kind of I would touch down and I'd take back off again, and I kind of just be soaring over society because it's a lot of it can be quite tumultuous. But even still, once I chose to get back into society, I haven't strayed from that. It's just the depth of grounding. And now I'm at a point where, especially it's helped out with the workout and then balancing myself biochemically, that I'm really grounded in this avatar template, developing this avatar template, healing this body, refining it, detoxifying it, restoring it and regenerating it to the desires of my heart, and so that I can live my heaven on earth. And I wish you the same in your world, and for all of those that you care about, and for all of those that are in your world, in your inner circle, so that you can live a life of smile, live a life of joy, live a life of free travel, live a life of creation, and building constructively, and building a legacy that you'll be proud to share, and that you can be proud to have shared. Even once you transition from this realm, you can be proud to know that your lineage and your ancestors are still talking about you because of the things that you did while you were here. I think that's one of the best jewels of life that you can create, is being such a treasure that you're still shared, that the energy and your spirit is still shared even once you leave by your family. It doesn't necessarily have to be a whole bunch of the public, but by your family, you built such an infrastructure for them, that they love to celebrate you and build and erect things for you and build altars for you. I think that showcases that you did a great work. I think that's one of the highest levels of achievement for a man, is to build a legacy of that caliber, to be a superior man of that caliber. And that's what I aspire to be, and that's what I aspire for you, other aspiring high value superior men. So blessings to you all. This message is particular for the high value man, the superior man, but it's for any and everybody. May we all be inspired. May we all be empowered. May we continue to create in love and joy. May every system of your body be blessed. May your nervous system, may your endocrine system, may your lymphatic system, may your immune system, may your respiratory system, may your cardiovascular system, may your muscular system, may your skeletal system, may they all be blessed. May every follicle of hair on your body be blessed and optimized. I declare that right now. your body is detoxifying and you're pushing past your old limiting beliefs, and you're leveling up to the highest levels, and you're exponentially growing, and you're going nuclear in your own in your generation of your own power, to the space, and then that power becomes magnified to where you're generating high levels of currency because of it. That's what I pray. That's what I declare. And I thank you for that service. I thank you for that fortitude. I thank you for that tenacity and that zeal to accomplish those goals. And thank you for the work and the service that you give out here in the public. I look forward to meeting you all. I cherish you all. I love you all. Thank you. Bliss and power every hour. Commit to the grit. Commit to your great. I'm Bishop out.